What is up, you guys? It is me, Sue Michaels, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So I know, yeah, bitches reading the title thinking, Jesus Christ, what the fuck we talking about today? Or I don't know, depending on what I name it, because if I name it on what I'm originally thinking, y'all bitches already gonna know what I'm talking about. But yeah, it's a very old situation, very old situation, and I just want to say a couple of things before I do actually get into the actual story time. Hi, welcome to my kitchen. I'm stood up, by the way. First thing I want to say is, a lot of people think they know what happened in that situation. I just want to say right here and now, nobody actually turned around until the fight was, I want to say, halfway done. So nobody really knew what the fuck happened other than me and this particular person. I'm not going to name them for legal reasons because I know for a fact this bitch finna try and sue. Because a couple of things have happened since then, and my name's been thrown into the mix once again because this hoe is obsessed with me still. But yeah, she basically I want to say this situation happened between me and a female, and let me address this right now. Like I said in my Q&A, I've had 25 to 30 fights in my entire life, and most of them have been with men that are my kind of size, that have stomach, have big arms, that are stocky, not muscly, but stocky. They're most of my, that's who I fight with typically. But I've always been a person that does not discriminate. So bitch, if you put your hands on me, I'm going to put my hands right the fuck back on you, and that's just how I've always been, and bitch, I will die that way. And I want people to realise that ain't nothing wrong with defending yourself. Like, if somebody people shouldn't be putting their hands on you like that anyway, and if they do, hit them. And I know you're probably watching and thinking, Jesus, why would you promote violence to your audience? And I'm just sorry, I'm just going to answer this question straight up. I was raised that way. I was raised, you don't start a fight, but if somebody comes to you with the bullshit, you wait till they reach out and touch you first and then let loose. And that's just like a basic self-respect thing. You should respect yourself enough to want to stand up for yourself. Like, why would you want to stand there and let somebody put their hands on you? You know what I mean? And that's how I grew up my whole life. I've been in fights my whole entire life. Like, I'm just that type of bitch that naturally my personality is intimidating. I mean, I know exactly why now that I'm older and I'm more mature. I know exactly why, but yeah. I don't see anything wrong with defending yourself, regardless of gender, whether you're this way or that way. It doesn't really matter. Like, if you put your hands on me, you're going to get what you're asking for. And because a couple of weeks ago, or was it months ago, I don't remember, this particular person, who was a female, decided to post on Facebook a pity story about how she's got something wrong with her brain, and somehow that got back to me. I've had the bitch blocked since the incident happened, so I don't understand why my name's still be in your mouth, but keep my fucking name out your mouth. And yeah, the only thing I was responsible for, and I've openly admitted since the very day it happened, was I gave this bitch a concussion. And yes, this bitch I think had to go to the doctors like 3 times to get a head check, but that was years prior. You can't blame me for brain damage that's happened years after the fact. Oh, and one thing I want to tell you as well is too, like, even the staff at John Fisher lied. Literally, even they lied about what happened. So if y'all want the truth about what happened, because I still to this day get questions, I'm not even joking. The other day, y'all, in my inbox, I got a message from someone I used to go to John Fisher with, and they was like, listen, I know it's none of my business, but can you tell me what happened with you and that person again? Because when I tell you, y'all, there was people cheering. There was people thanking me that I beat this bitch up. And it was just not like that at all. It wasn't a situation how it was painted out to be. So, anyway, we're going to get on with the story time because I don't want it to be too long. I just want to get in and out type of shit. So, some back context real quick. It's not too relevant, but you need a little bit to understand. So, I went to John Fisher from year 7 to 8, and I actually got kicked out of John Fisher shortly before the end of year 8, if I remember rightly, because of this exact situation. And this girl had joined, I want to say at the beginning of year 7, or maybe the beginning of year 8, I don't quite remember. But she transferred from Deanery. She got her ass beat up in Deanery by a girl I know. I don't know her like that, but I know who the girl is. But she got her ass whooped in Deanery, and from what I've heard, she's had her ass whooped a few times. Purely, this girl has a rage problem where she will get so mad with people, she'll just reach out and put her hands on bitches. And what I want you to bear in mind is one thing about me, I'm open about my anger problem, so motherfuckers use that against me as though that's going to do something. But no, you will always see there's a 3-step warning. You get 3 chances with me before I reach out and touch you. And if you touch me first, they're the only times that I will ever respond to you physically. And I've never hit anybody first in my life. You know what I mean? I'm just open with the fact that I have an anger problem in terms of once you put your hands on me, I black the fuck out. Like, me, as I am, just goes somewhere else and I black out and I struggle to calm down. It literally takes me weeks to calm down. No exaggeration, weeks, when I go through a situation where I fist fight somebody. Because I can't control my temper. I'm very open about that. I'm on medication for being angry. I didn't even know you could be medicated for that. I'm on medication for anxiety because anxiety plays a humongous part in why I'm so hot-headed, because I do openly acknowledge the fact I'm a hothead too. Like, it don't take much to piss me off, but I'm not looking for a fight. And also a lot of people mix my passion, me being passionate, with me being angry, and that's not my job to keep clarifying. So if you don't want to sit there and think I'm angry, then so be it, but I am in fact passionate. So me and this girl became friends because of the fact she'd moved into the school, and shortly before she moved in, there was talks about people that wanted to like terrorise her and annoy her and get her a reaction out of her, because a lot of people found it funny. I never found it funny. Personally, I found it quite stupid and pointless. But you know, people are going to do what they want to do, and so be it. So when she moved in originally, instantly, like when she first moved in to our school in John Fisher, straight away, the terrorising, the torment started. People would get her mad on purpose. I myself have seen her stab people in the hand with pencils. I mean, sharp pencils, and she's gone like that on people's hands. I've seen her punch people, yank people's hair, slap people, claw their arms. Like, this girl's known for putting her hands on people. And I feel like we became friends because we were both kind of the outsiders. I was never a crowd follower, never will be. The crowd never accepted me, didn't want them to. Deuces, because you can't miss something you never had. And I'm just a very authentic person. I don't follow the crowd. I don't kiss no one's ass. I do my own shit. I march to the accord of my own drum and no fucker else's. So when she came along, she kind of gave me that same vibe, because she, as much as she got tormented, she never gave in to the peer pressure of acting normal, if that makes any sense. Nor did I. So we kind of clicked up on that level. And we shared a friendship, a close friendship. I did call her my best friend at one time. I don't want to speak necessarily for her because I don't know what she was thinking, but she did treat me like a best friend at that time too. So I want to go with the theory that maybe she considered me a best friend, but I definitely considered her a best friend at that particular time. And for that context, I don't really remember much else. The only thing I remember is what happened the day before, which we're going to get to next, and the situation that happened, and then I'll get into a little bit of the aftermath. So the day before, we'd had a falling out, and I'm going to keep it brief for this little bit. And we was on the yard, and basically John Fisher's yard, if y'all went to John Fisher, I don't even need to explain it, but it was near PE, where the boys' PE room is, and the steps, and the little wall thing. Well, she was stood there, and I was stood next to her, and we was talking, and all of a sudden she has this like big bipolar ass moment, and I basically tell her, listen, I don't want to be your friend anymore because you're very like erratic, like you're all over the place type shit, and it's draining being your friend. And as I turned my back, she picked up a PE bag like this, which had these metal studs, you know, the metal football studs? It had those in. And she picks the bag up and she swings it. And because I got told from somebody that was like, I was walking away, but there was somebody that was like a mutual friend. So my back was towards her, but our mutual friend was looking at both of us. And she told me afterwards, she'd swung the bag around like this, and she whacked me full pelt in the head with it. And I stopped, and I was like, Because at the time, bear in mind at the time, I'm a totally different person now to as I was then. Uh, Back then, super quiet. Like I said, a very easy target. Would never stand up for myself. Didn't have shit to say. Would let a motherfucker treat me however they wanted to. And I'd just keep the shit moving. So I never stood up to her like that. I really said anything about it. I didn't go and report it. Nothing like that. But that was strike one. Because she'd hit me with something when my back was turned. This is supposed to be my friend. It's now turning into an abusive friendship. Friends can be physically abusive to you too. Like, abuse is not just in a intimate romantic relationship. No, your friends can be physically abusive to you, and that's what she started to become. So that was her first strike. The very next day, I think it was second period, we was in English, and we were sat right at the back of the classroom on the very back row, and it was like the last two seats on the left-hand side of the very back row. And we were studying for a test, so we was all revising for the first 20, 30 minutes. And then for the rest of the 30 minutes, we did like a practice test. And again, having a bipolar moment. I don't know what the fuck set her off. I don't really remember. But we was going back and forth. Let me take my jumper off because I'm a dressing going off because I'm just need to show you out anyway later on. But we started going back and forth. And then, like I said, I was the kind of person back then, you wouldn't really get much arguing out to me or anything like that. So I just went silent, turned my head and laughed. This bitch grabs a pen out her pencil case like this. She's opening it, she grabs the pen. It was a pen that had a crown on. Clicks the pen open, and she full on, I shit you not, just goes stab straight in my arm. I still got the mark. Do y'all see that? It looks like a little J. It looks like a J. I can't get any closer. It looks like a little J. But that's an ink mark from where she stabbed me. So I thought, okay, I'm gonna let the shit go. But if this bitch try anything else, because bear in mind, this is strike two now. You've hit me with the bag, with the shoes in, the day before. And now you've stabbed, the bitch done stabbed me in the arm with the motherfucking pen. So, I remember I was just facing this way, away from her. And she's still going on, man, she's still going on, man. And I'm not paying her no mind. So, we're both sat down. This bitch stands up. I'm now sat down looking up at her and she's stood over me. And I can't remember what happened. It was like a back and forth on her end. Like, she was just going off on one. I didn't really say anything. And this bitch, I'm sat like this, like with my elbow on the desk. This bitch goes to sucker punch me in the face. Strike three. So as she goes to sucker punch me, I move my face because I've done this shit before. I'm not about to sit there and let you hit my face. So I move my face and I jump up out my seat with an uppercut. I called it the Superman because it was like, that was like my very first fight. You know what I mean? I didn't know I had that kind of oomph to me. So I jumped up with an uppercut and she literally grabbed my shirt like this and I pushed her back. And as I pushed her back, she's like still grabbing onto me. So I slammed her down. Like I put my leg behind her leg and I slammed her down onto the chair to say like, stop you crazy ass bitch. And as I fell, I used to have hair like up to here, like my natural hair. And as we're falling, she's falling on the chair and I'm falling forward because she's still got hold of my shirt. This bitch takes a piece of my hair and yanks me even more forward. And she grabs my tie with the other hand. So she's pulling me closer and closer. And as she pulled my hair, she had like a fringe that was in like two parts. I grabbed this side of her hair. And I shit you not, is what I mean. I don't know, I don't realise how strong I am. I only took that shit once. And the whole fucking side of her fringe come out. The whole side of it. And I threw that up in the air. And I kept saying to her, bitch, let me go. Like, let me go and we can end this shit right now. And everybody was starting to turn around. And just as I thought she was going to let me go, she took her hand off the one that had hold of my tie, because I was trying to take her arm off my tie. And she starts swinging at me in the head. So I think, okay, now you've got me fucked up, because I'm actually trying to settle this situation. and you're pulling my hair, you're swinging on me, you're grabbing my shirt. So I said, fuck it. I grabbed that bitch hair again, I wrapped my fingers up in that shit real good, and I was just duping that bitch. And yes, I did slam her head into the table because she still wouldn't get off me. And when she didn't get off me, her head went from the table to the radiator, to the table, to the wall. Openly admit that, I admitted it from the second it happened. So why would I lie about the shit now? And that's, I'm guessing, where they said that the concussion come from where I punched her. They said I was punching her with that much force, that's what caused the concussion, but I did slam her head 4 times against 4 different objects. So it could have been that. But, and I back off, and she jumps up again because she still got hold of me. Somehow she gets hold of me again. So as I back off, she jumps up, and I grab her hair. It was like as she was mid-jumping up, I grabbed her hair. So as she's jumped up, I've lifted her up also. And I pushed her away like that. And that's how she ran out the classroom. She ran out the classroom screaming, now all of a sudden you're the victim, doesn't make any sense, but okay, you do that. So I picked her hair up and I said, you ever touch me again, I'm going to take the other side of your hair out. And I threw the hair up and I got escorted out and I was put into isolation for the rest of the day, even though I'd told them, I'd shown them literal proof from where that J is. It's like a backwards J from where she stabbed me. And they basically made out like I'd just attacked this bitch for no reason. So they started taking statements later on from other people. They couldn't take statements from other people purely because of the fact that by the time most of the people had turned around and registered what had happened, that's when they just seen me clocking this bitch. So that's where they got that mixed up, and they basically gave me the boot after that. I went in the next day as if it was a normal day, and I got told to go straight to isolation. So I did. And then they transferred me to Edmund Arrowsmith in Ashton and Makerfield for a week. They gave me the decision like 4 days in that I wasn't returning to John Fisher, which I didn't give a fuck about. I was like, deuces, I beat that whole ass and I'm out the door. And I bet she go and learn not to put her hands on nobody else no more. So after that, I got kicked out of Edmund Arrowsmith because I got into a fight with 2 guys in the bathroom. Another story time. But yeah, shortly afterwards, her mum was trying to sue me, literally, trying to sue me because of the fact that I'd opened up purely and I was honest the entire time. And I said I did bash her head off 4 different things, yeah. And I did punch her repeatedly. But she started that fight. Had she left me alone, I'd have been cool. She put her hands on me 3 times before I reacted. I'm not going to stand for an abusive friendship, relationship, partner, none of that. None of that. You're not going to put your hands on me and think that I'm not going to put my hands back on you. Because surprise, bitch. I got that ass that day. So yeah, I only wanted to talk about that and make it short and sweet. There's a lot more I could say, but I only bring it up because A, it's my most requested story time I've ever had since I joined YouTube. Like ever, so I'm happy it's out of the way. And truth be told, I've been avoiding talking about it. It's just a situation I don't want to revisit, just purely because I feel like they kicked me out, John Fisher, to make an example over me. And they chose to believe her because of the fact she was a girl. Like, that's what was so shocking about it, was the fact that it was a male attacking a female. But she hit me first. Not only that, she'd stabbed me with a pen. She'd hit me the day before. Like, it was becoming an abusive friendship, and I wasn't standing for the shit. I really wasn't. And still to this day, I ain't standing for no abusive ass anything. I'll go down swinging first. That's just the type of person I am. But yeah, her mother tried to sue my mother. Didn't work. And then I got told a couple of weeks ago about this thing she'd posted about her brain injuries, and how that's apparently my fault. No, girl, I gave you a concussion. And I openly admitted that from day one, because you shouldn't have put your fucking hands on me. And I guarantee you will never put your hands on me again. Yeah, so you got what I gave you at that point. You can't cry the victim now and say all these years later, oh, it's Suha's fault. It's Suha's fault that I've got these brain injuries. Well, what about when JC whooped your ass in deanery? Because from what I heard, she gave it to you just like I give it to you, except she dragged you all across that canteen floor by your hair and she was dooping your head. Hey, don't think I don't know about that, girl. I got told about that shit too. I got told you done had your ass whooped a couple times. Like I keep saying, pick and choose your battles. Pick and choose your battles. So yeah, I just wanted to get that out of the way because it's funny looking back at it. And no, I'm not sorry. Because like I said, this bitch touched me first. And her mother couldn't see me anyway because I can't even remember why. It was something like there wasn't enough evidence or the evidence wasn't strong enough or some shit like that. I remember my mum having to go into meetings and stuff and talk to school and shit like that because it was turning into a situation like this bitch literally tried to sue me over a situation that her crazy ass daughter started. You can't start. How you start a whole fight with somebody, and then you the victim because you got beat up? Bitch, I'm confused. Anyway, I could go on a tangent about this because just talking about that one in particular does my head in because she is like the person that is dying to be the victim. Like if you've ever met somebody like that is just always dying to be a victim, that's her. But yeah, I don't have anything else to say on the topic. I hope I addressed everything that y'all wanted to hear. Like I said, there's not much information I could really give you because I only remember really a little bit of the backstory, and I remember specifically the day before and the day of the fight, and that's it. But if y'all do have any comments, questions, or anything like that, let me know down below in the comments. And I have a question for you guys. Is it okay for a man to ever defend himself against a woman? Given what you've just heard, and what would you do in that situation? I'm quite curious because I'm a big agreeer with the equal fights, equal rights movement, which is basically people encouraging people to stand up for themselves. If somebody puts their hands on you, regardless of their gender, you put your hands back on them out of respect for yourself. I'm not promoting violence, but I'm saying, bitch, respect yourself enough to stand up for yourself, whether it's a man fucking with you, a woman fucking with you, or both. So anyway, I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. And bitch, you got your fucking ass whooped. And that's when a bad bitch was born.